Oh no. The garbage man is back. Granted, he's actually been doing a great job lately, hasn't he? Yeah, I think so. What's up, Reapers? My name's Seth. We are back. Some more Trove. What the? Die, fish! How y'all doing today, folks? Hope you're doing fantastic, wonderful. I hope this video makes your day even better. Luxion came a little bit late, didn't he? Now, they did this on purpose, so calm down, okay? Seriously, you don't gotta keep yelling at your TV screen. I can't hear you. No, the Luxion, coming on the end of the month, they ended up kind of delaying it so that he would end up coming out May 3rd. He's going to stick around until May 6th. And he's going to end up disappearing at 4 a.m. Pacific time on May 6th. So I guess that's like 4 in the morning or something like that, my time anyways. But they ended up delaying it so that we could end up actually interacting with this guy over the weekend so that people weren't busy with school or work and stuff like that. And he's got a pretty decent inventory this time. Not really that much new stuff. He's just got this thing right here, which is kind of weird, honestly. We'll talk about this in a little bit here. But otherwise, he's going to end up having the turkey throne. Oddly enough, like, I don't know why this guy just seems to think it's Thanksgiving all year round. Like, it's really, really weird. But the turkey throne is going to end up, whoopsie daisy, no, turkey throne, please. There you go. This is going to end up being a mount that was available for Thanksgiving events. I accidentally took the wrong helmet. Let me just, I turned off reshade. That's why we don't really have as many colors and stuff. But either way, it's just going to be a chair reskin mount. Kind of ends up having like the turkey tail at the back, which is kind of weird. And I don't know if it has any, yeah, it does actually have a recliner, which is weird that it doesn't work with the Vanguard. Yeah. That's strange. Not a gliding mount or anything like that. None of the chairs really are anyways. Why is this game exploding for me right now? Is it because Lexion's here? Now everybody suddenly is just like, dude. But then we got the Starry Shmi, which this way back in the day was actually an exclusive item for logging in during a specific time for Trove, which now it seems that you can actually just buy it outright from this guy. And as you can see, because I can actually buy it from him, this is a good way to tell, guys. You can see right here, anything that I can buy right here is tradable, because I've already got all of this stuff because none of it's new outside of the recycler here, which again, we'll talk about that in a minute. It's not as exciting as it sounds. But the Starry Shmi is a very, very weird mount. Like, seriously, he, some people actually really are into him. I'm not really the type that likes blends, like, two different types of mount, like half and half type of thing, where we got one side that's focused on night. So we got the moon on the side, and then we got the glowing stars and everything, and it's kind of beautiful and kind of relaxing. And then we got this side, which is all like, I'm the sun and I'm going to blind you. And the sun and the moon are actually both the Trove logo, which I think it would be kind of cool if they had that in the sky instead of that weird generic moon. It just doesn't really make sense for the moon to be a circle when everything in the game is a cube. But maybe that's just me. Either way, though, it's got very fancy footprints because one of them's blue and one of them's yellow, right? And again, the fact that this is going to end up being a tradable mount means that it's something that you could act on. You could definitely end up buying a bunch of these and selling them later. I don't think that it's going to be a particularly popular mount, honestly speaking. So you do got to keep that in mind. But the fact that it's unobtainable in any other form means that it's definitely something worth grabbing. The Chaos Hound is something that you can actually get very, very rarely from the Chaos chest. I remember this thing has been in the game forever, dude. Back in the day, this was my all-time favorite mount. I remember when I ended up first getting my hands on one of these. I think it was actually somebody ended up giving me one of them because I never ended up unboxing one back then anyways. I've unboxed a few up until now, but either way, I loved this thing because of how, just cool it looked. It was all purple and kind of fishy, and I don't know, its video effects were always very impressive, and even now it's got a lot of video effects going for it, doesn't it? Like, it's definitely like a really pretty mount. Kind of stupid just because it's a corgi, and back in the day, the corgi mounts were like the only thing added, so it was like really, really cool to get any type of mount, whereas now we've got like so many different things. We got dragons, we got other creatures that are like really, really majestic and beautiful, and because of it, the skeleton of this guy is just kind of like like, it feels like an old man appropriately because this mount is extremely old. But again, you can end up getting it very rarely out of the Chaos chest. You can't craft it though. That's the big thing to keep in mind here. It's the same as the Sky Seeker wings or Sky Stalker wings or whatever they're called, right? Those wings you can only end up getting out of the Chaos chest, very similarly to how I'm still missing the Chaos chest ally that is just a mimic chaos chest, because you have to get it unboxed out of the chaos chest yourself. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to have any other way of attaining this, because, you know, they weren't tradable, or at least, you know, now they are anyway, so that's kind of cool. But anyways, here's Samantha, which is going to end up being probably one of the allies that I would actually recommend you end up picking up right away. Like, if you don't have this, it's worth getting, especially if you don't have a Prowling Shadow ally, because this is kind of like a very quick, easy way of actually getting one, outside of the fact that it's 80 dragon coins. Normally you get this ally through Halloween, but it's going to end up giving you 3 jump, who cares, 13 superstition, which doesn't do anything. It's a joke stat. They made it do something last Halloween. Maybe it'll do it in the future, but it's going to end up giving you 2.2% health each time you damage an enemy. So essentially it's giving you that precious life steal. But on top of that, it's a black cat. It's adorable. It's cute. You gotta have it. Like, seriously, if you're gonna get an ally, you need it. It's very, very useful for Shadow Hunter, you know, Draco and stuff like that. Otherwise, honestly speaking, you're just going to end up using the Prowling Shadow. Is going to end up doing the same thing, but it's going to end up giving you 5 movement speed, which is going to end up being better for the cause, right? And then there's the Suntouch Shimmer Wing, which this guy, it's kind of weird that Luxion's already selling this guy, because this was an event that was only like a couple months ago already. I don't know. I mean, it feels like it was only a couple months ago. Maybe it was already like a year ago. But he's, yeah, be pretty useless, honestly speaking. 9% to magic damage and 30 magic fine. So he's not going to end up being very useful. And he's a butterfly mount. So even though I actually kind of like the butterfly mounts, I feel that they're very, very tiny compared to all of the other allies. Did I say mount? I meant ally. He's just very, very tiny. But he does go with a lot of Radiant costumes, so you should keep that in mind. Most of all, you just get it for the style. Also, it's going to end up going with the Butterfly Mount, which ended up coming from another event. Then we got the Ladybug Bug Bite, or Ladylike helmet right here. So it's weird that he's selling these styles, because these were from the Ladybug Invaders event, which hasn't been around for a while, has it? The way that the event ended up working originally was the invaders that come down every 12 minutes would end up coming down every 6 minutes, and they were giant ladybugs, and then they could drop like this helmet, or the other one, what's the other one even called? Shadow Bug Bite Bug Butte, actually. There we go. This one's actually pretty cool. Works with a lot of different costumes in the game. I actually would recommend this with the Infinian Candy Barb costume. It looks really, really good on him, and kind of feels more like a beetle than like a ladybug, but this is what the Ladybug Invaders heads looked like, so that's where it's kind of appropriate that we ended up getting something like that. And then the Luxion's Auto Magical Recycler. So this is kind of weird. Functions as a loot collectors. Trovians demanded, Luxion delivers. This is kind of a pun. I get it. It's kind of funny, but it's kind of, I don't know, like, Trovians demanded. No, we did not demand this at all. Like, we didn't need another loot collector to confuse players. It's because of the fact that we kept calling this guy the garbage man. So it's kind of cool that they ended up doing that a little bit too late, though, as it usually is with Trove stuff, though, isn't it? Like, they always kind of get late to the punch, but 30 dragon coins is a bit steep just for a loot collector. You might want to end up grabbing these if you're a jerk and you want to like trade these later and act like it's something worthwhile, because honestly speaking, it's nothing out of the ordinary. Like, it's just a loot collector. Like, let me throw down a cornerstone here, which actually is going to take a little while before I can build there, but either way, it's just a loot collector. So I'm thinking that I might end up buying a few of these and kind of just replacing the loot collector in the club with some of them. But again, it's like we're so used to looking at that blue from the loot collector, it kind of draws the eye in. It's really, really good for letting players know, there's where the loot collector is. And then suddenly, if we ended up just dropping this down, it would just be like, what? What is this? How do I use it? You know, nobody would even be able to see it. But it straight up, guys, it's just a loot collector. It's under the same code. You see, if I go to the buyback menu, I can buy back all of the items that I already loot collected out of a normal loot collector, which is right over here. Funny enough, this style saver, back in the day, you would actually have a loot, or not a loot collector. What was it? Oh, man. You had 2 separate items. One of the crafting tables, or loot collectors, I guess, was for dismantling items. The deconstructor, that's what it was called. Man, it's been such a long time. There was the deconstructor, where you'd break down items for materials. And then there was the style saver, where you would break down items to save their style. Where now the loot collector just does both of those functionalities. And the style saver just operates the same as as a loot collector. It just has the same skin. So if I end up actually attacking this thing and destroying it, it's going to end up dropping just a normal loot collector, which is, I don't know. I kind of like the way that the Style Saver looks, just because it's an angry face. But the loot collector definitely does look a lot better. And as I said, you know, that blue kind of draws you in, whereas something like this, you would just end up walking by it. You know, not to mention that's the biggest recycling can I've ever seen in my life. Like, seriously, devs, either make your characters 2 blocks tall, or you seriously gotta like bring the prop size down, because that is gigantic compared to my character. I honestly half expected that when we ended up lasering that thing, it was not going to end up actually grabbing it. It was just gonna place it, like destroy it, and that was going to end up being it, right? But anyways, thanks for watching, everybody. Very much appreciated. Unfortunately, Luxion is not selling his egg yet. Luxion is a dragon that's already in the game's code. We don't know when he's going to sell himself in his own inventory, which is going to be hilarious as well as scary of how he does it. Thanks for watching, though. Very much appreciated. Don't forget to like, share, favorite, and subscribe for more daily content. And if you want to support me, you can always sponsor my YouTube channel or check links in the description for my merch store as well as Gawkbox. My merch store has some new merch, by the way. You should check it out. And Gawkbox is a way that you can end up donating to me for absolutely free. Sign on and stay epic, everybody.